Welcome to another edition of the Sizzling Hot Marriage Show. I'm your host, Joe Follette Jr. So happy to be with you here once again. Here to inspire, encourage, and educate you so that you can have a sizzling hot marriage. Everybody can have a sizzling hot marriage, but it doesn't come automatically. You got to work for it. And so I want to encourage couples to work on their marriages, to keep working on your marriage, because your marriage is the most important investment of your life. Did you know that? That your marriage is your most important investment. Why do I say that? Well, I say that because when you get to be 80 years old and you're still together, you really understand why we needed this companionship all along life's journey. Somebody to spend it with, somebody to enjoy it with. That's what's God. Somebody to take care of you. Somebody to push you around in your wheelchair. If that's the case, that's what it's all about. And I'm so excited to be here promoting marriage. And I want to encourage everyone in my audience to make sure that you take care of your marriage, that you invest in your marriage, you spend time talking to each other and spending time encouraging one another, that you go places and do things, make memories. You know, this is so important for you to take care of your marriage. And so that's what I want to share with you every week as we do this show. I want you to be encouraged to make sure you're taking care of your marriage. It's so easy, folks, to take your marriage for granted. It's so easy to just go on auto mode. But you know what? That is not a good decision, because if you go on auto mode, guess what? If you don't take care of your marriage won't take care of you. And other things will slip in there, other priorities will come in there, and will really interrupt what God intended for you to have. So I want to encourage you to take care of your marriage like you take care of your car, take care of your house, take care of your stuff. You got to take care of your marriage as well. All right, I'm so excited today about the guest we have today, whose screen is sideways, so hopefully they will straighten that out. So we're glad to have them today, the Rudy and Shaakira Molisho joining us today. And so let's see if we can get them on here. Yeah, you got to turn. Still got the orientation on thing. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can get it fixed here for you. All right. So I don't see you guys. Okay, yeah, there you are. All right, so happy to have Rudy and Shaakira Molisho. Why are they not showing? All right, y'all there?
Yep.
Okay, but I can't see you. All right, hold on. Let's see what's going on here. Something. You know how things work, right? There's always something. I don't know why it won't do full screen. Huh. Okay. All right, let me. Huh. I had you, but then, oh, there you are. Okay. It just, I don't know why it does that, but sometimes the computers just do not act right. Welcome, Rudy and Shaakira. Thank you for coming to the Sizzling Hot Marriage Show.
Thank you for having us.
Wonderful, wonderful. I am so happy to have you guys, because you guys are so, you're a phenomenal couple. You guys are a power couple. Yes, I am so happy to have you guys. Let me tell you a little bit about these two. I have Shaakira Molisho is a healthcare informatics professional, visual designer, and marketer with over a decade of experience in people skills and public relations. She has a passion for developing relationships, cultivating partnerships, and growing her business. Shaakira is also a new mom to a baby girl, Zuri, and happily married, based in Cincinnati, Ohio. She has a true love for art, loves to create music and blog about her lifestyle in her spare time. Rudy Molisho, husband, father, self-published author of the amazing masterpiece book called God's Creation, entrepreneur and philanthropist. He is a man of multiple hats and talents. Born and raised the Democratic Republic of the Congo, he began his journey to the United States to pursue his college career, while he graduated with a bachelor's in entrepreneurship and management from the prestigious Xavier University in Cincinnati, Ohio. Fluent in 4 languages, Rudy spent time being a translator for various hospitals and patients in need of French linguistic assistance. His greatest passion is bringing healing and guidance to people that may cross his path. As of now, he spends most of his time between his family, mentoring the youth under a nonprofit organization called The Plug, and coordinating different activities in Kinshasa, Congo, his hometown. As far as his professional career, he works as a Bancorp resolution specialist for one of the top Fortune 500 companies. In my spare time, he says, he loves to consult aspiring and pre-existing entrepreneurs in their business adventures. Well, that's Rudy and Shaakira. That's y'all's background. So glad to have you guys. Thank you for coming. I found Shaakira on Instagram. She was doing her thing, posting her pictures and doing her thing. And I just love to see folks who are doing their business, trying to make an impact with their business, and also managing their family and their love life. You guys we had an interview already, and we're doing this again. So I know y'all even more now. So I'm so happy that you guys are sharing your experience. Now, one of the things that stood out for me for this couple was how they've managed the life stressors that as soon as they got married, and they've had some stressors in their life, in their relationship, that they have had to figure out. I guess it's on-the-job training. Is that what it is? So you guys, share some of the stressors you guys have faced in your marriage that you've had to figure out.
Yeah. So pretty much with him being from the Congo and me being an American, instantly we were brought with the cultural differences, just learning what he likes, what I don't like, what might mean something that is benign to me, but may be something serious to him, just in how I may translate it, and just trying to open those lines of communication to where the person is being heard and not being hurt in the process because of the way that we were individually brought up as people. And I say communication and just figuring out what not to say, what to say. Because you get away with so much when you're single and you don't have to listen to anyone, and being married, you do have to take the other person's feelings into account when you're communicating.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that cultural thing, has been a big challenge for you guys to kind of get used to. What about you, Rudy? How has that been for you?
Yeah, I would say, the first year was definitely challenging, being from different background and understanding how things are done. Even though I've been in the U.S. for a couple years, for almost 12 years or more now, but the cultural background, it was just a challenge to understand each other, as my know what to say or what not to say, but how to say it, and make sure that you're communicating your point across to your partner. Just be able to work with team, understanding each other, understanding like there is no your role is no higher than mine or lower than mine. We gotta work as a team and make sure that we're fulfilling this vision of a healthy marriage.
Okay. So, were you planning to come over here and marry an American girl? Was that your plan?
That was not even on my plan, because I remember when I moved in the States, I came here for school, and my plan was like graduate and just pack my stuff and go. And then I graduated, I had a job opportunity to stay, and then I met her, and then we got married, and then I was like, you know what, let me stay for a while. So
That's
So
how it
yeah,
worked out. You got caught.
yeah, that was really not in my plan. Yeah,
So
but I regret it. It's been great. It's been great.
that's awesome. So you've been to the Congo, Shakira?
I have not yet. COVID has definitely interrupted our plans to make that transition, but I am looking forward to doing that.
You guys
Very
almost got married in COVID, didn't you? When did you get married? In
got married.
2019?
Yeah.
We barely we barely made it. We did.
Yeah, we got married
Yeah.
in 2019.
So we were shut down together figuring out marriage.
Right.
But luckily some time to kind of live with one another and figure each other out to where when the pandemic hit, we weren't much because we had pretty much worked through all the serious issues. I guess to come in your first year.
Yeah, they came in your first year, huh?
Yeah.
Now, did y'all experience the cultural differences when you were dating?
I would say for me, I mean, when we were dating, it was more like everybody was like we were kind of walking on eggshell, if I can say that. Like you don't really show your true self, if I can say that. Some extent, show your good side. You want to show everything good. You don't really show as much as the bad. So I don't think as we were dating there was more as a cultural difference. No, I felt like once we got married and then living together, it was just like, okay, you know what, I'm not ready for that. That's not what I expected. Because there was some things like growing up I never saw my parents argue or yell at each other. For me it was no such things to be having a conflict and then yelling and things like that. And then when it was happening in our marriage, I was like, whoa, what did I put myself into? For me, it was just like a shock. I never saw that growing up. So for me, it was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. Maybe, I made a bad choice. So things like that, just being open and understanding, how this is really marriage. You don't growing up, they don't show you that.
Yeah.
And that's how they resolve conflict was by being loud. So I was just doing pretty much everything that I was taught. So we kind of had to really unlearn a few behaviors that we saw growing up and just try to figure out what works for us. Be happy.
So I'm curious. I mean, I've never been to the Congo. I don't know. As you said, Congolese. How you say it?
Yeah.
Congolese people. I mean, is that something they don't do? I mean, or is it just your family? They don't. Generally, people don't yell and have these domestic disputes like we experience here in America.
I mean, I would say that's really not the way we resolve conflict. People are usually more like quiet, I would say. And then the man is usually the head. Like the one dictating everything around the house. When the men say it's red, you gotta be red. No question asked and everything. So, but here I had to understand that it's a partnership. We have to come to an agreement and be able to see things the same way. Understand having a vision and understanding how we can work as a team to make sure that we stick to the plan.
Okay, so people are different. It's a different culture. People they resolve conflict differently. So it's interesting, huh? That's interesting because I mean, really, I think a lot of it probably has to do with the history of slavery. Would you say? Because your people didn't experience that, right?
I mean, we to a different, we experienced colonization, being colonized,
right?
Belgium, and not being able to, you gotta understand, you have to answer to your master, you have to follow the rules the way they are. You don't have to ask no question, the way it is, that's the way it should be. And you are raised in a family where the dad is the head of the household and everything is said that should be the way.
Very patriarchal.
Exactly, very patriarchal. So that coming here in the state, like I'm just gonna give you a simple example. Like growing up, I never saw my dad cooking. I'm pretty sure he can cook, but I never saw my dad cooking. I never saw my dad cleaning a plate or a fork. I never saw my dad pack his own dish and put it away. And in Africa, you have help. People help around the house and everything. So
you got servants up in there, huh?
Yeah. So coming here, it's different. I'm not expecting her to just do everything. We gotta work as a team.
Okay. All right. So man, so Shaakira kind of gave you some culture shock. You're like,
it was more.
She had expectations. I mean,
Yeah.
Black women now. I mean, they expected some partnership. Am I right, Shaakira?
Yeah. I mean, yes, and I felt like I had to, like she said, I had to pick up the good things and forget, let everything else and figure out how it can work for us. It just didn't make sense. We both work. We were both busy. It doesn't make sense for me to expect her.
So you adapted.
Yes, I really had to adapt. Yes, I really had to adapt.
Wow. How did you help him, Shaakira?
Just communicating with him like, hey, these things are your things. I hope you're not expecting me to do X, Y, and Z all the time on top of doing my own. When we were living separately, both of our places looked a certain way, we ran our households a certain way. So it's just like, okay, how can we bring that dynamic into this house that we're going to share together? The gender roles was just pretty much like out the window. And like I was raised, I saw both people coming together. Like my dad cooked, my mom, she would cook times, she would clean and things like that. But for the most part, they did things together. So that was my coming into it, that we're going to work as a team. So
did Rudy give you pushback?
No, he didn't. And I feel like it was because when he was a single man by himself, he was cooking and cleaning and taking care of himself. So he didn't have a woman to do that. I just think that when you get married, you have this idea of what you think marriage is supposed to be as soon as you say I do. And it's like, okay, let's try to do everything exactly the way we saw, because this is how it goes, instead of just creating your own manual along the way.
And that's how the conflict happens, right? I mean, my way is the right way.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how did you guys, early on, okay, I mean, how did the conflict go? I mean, how did y'all, how did it go? I mean, was it pretty intense?
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
But I feel like those intense moments where it's like, like you said, I think I made a mistake, and here I am, like, I don't think I can do this. I don't think it's possible for an American and an African man to be together and for it to be harmonious. I'm like, there's just no way. Like, if he's gonna be this way forever, like, this is not happening. So I know individually, we both got on our hands and knees and prayed for one another for God to the things that we just weren't fixing amongst ourselves. And I feel like that helped us a lot, because, it's like, hands off. There's nothing else I can do. There's nothing I can say to make you see it from my perspective. The only person that can make you change your heart is God. So I feel like a lot of prayer definitely helped us come to a common ground to be able to find that peace and for us to be able to live the right way and not have to result to arguing or feeling like I have to make you feel less than because you're not doing this, that, and the other, because that's what I and I had to learn there's a way of communicating that I don't like something versus just going off in the deep end. And you can't take back what you say. And that's something the conflicts that I had to learn,
Mm-hmm.
you know, very early, that just be mindful of your tone and the way that you say things, even though that might be what you mean. It's just that can have an everlasting effect on a man or me as a woman, because it's hard to kind of outweigh the good and the bad if they say these hurtful things. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I didn't expect that from you, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, so how did y'all work through that? Did you get counseling, or it just the prayer did it?
No, we did, we
Prayer,
did, we did counseling too.
counseling.
We did
Okay,
counseling.
and that
We did.
helped.
Yeah, actually, the funniest thing is we got married. It was less than a year, and then we were just trying to figure out the balance and everything. So we went to see, we were doing counseling. And I remember at the end of the session and everything, and I asked, I was like, is this normal? He said, yes, this is normal. This is what marriage is. You know,
Yeah.
you just have to figure out how to work to the issue and challenges and everything. I was just,
And he was laughing.
I was shocked. I was like, this is weird.
This is not,
this
I'm
is
like, this is
not.
not normal.
So, but once we were able to understand each other, and yeah, I think that's really helped. You know, understand each other, and then be patient with each other, and kind, loving, all that. I think that's really helped us finding a direction and being focused on the end goal of having a healthy marriage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's just what some couples need to know. It's normal. Conflict is normal, and you do feel like this is not going to work, but you guys persevered. You prayed, so you both of you came into the marriage with some spiritual foundation.
Yeah.
Yes. That's how we knew each other was the one.
Hmm.
Prayer. So, yeah, that's always been the foundation.
That's what's up. So when you couldn't get along, you just pray together. Huh?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
just pray about it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I need to cool myself down and be like, Lord.
Are you sure? This what you got for me? Yeah, yeah. That's what's up. Wow. Now you guys had another big adjustment situation when you had your baby. Tell us about that.
You want to go?
Yeah. So, pregnant with our first child, excited, over the moon. I pretty much had an idea of what I thought my pregnancy would go, just kind of based on my health history. So that was something that we purposely planned for. We did all the genetic testing and everything like that before we got married, so that we would know what we were up against before we actually said I do. So when it came time to actually getting pregnant and things like that, kind of going throughout the pregnancy, they did kind of let us know that I was probably going to have to be taken early as far as the delivery, but we just didn't know how early. So I ended up having our daughter at 28, 27 weeks.
Wow.
And we spent the first 2 months of her life pretty much in the hospital, in the NICU, back and forth. I was in the hospital for a few weeks after delivery just due to complications. And it was a very trying time. Looking back, we had no idea how severe her health was, as well as mine, because we were just so excited that we were having a baby that we were planning. So it wasn't until it dawned on us and we were able to speak with the clinicians and the nurses and speak with other parents that were going through the same situation, how this was life or death. So it didn't really hit us until we were like, oh my gosh, we are really in a neonatal intensive care unit with our baby, and she cannot come home. And I think that's really hard, not being able to walk out those doors with your baby for a couple months.
A couple months.
Yes.
So you guys had to travel.
Yes.
How long?
Yeah,
how far did you have to travel?
It was about an hour away from
What?
where.
Were y'all lived in the boonies or something? What was all that about?
Since the pregnancy, it kind of got worse at the end. That things were just going off the chain. She had to be transferred to a bigger hospital. So because where she was taking the pre-pregnancy treatment and everything, they said that if she give birth there, they have to split the baby and the mom, send the baby in different from
Mm.
there. Just was sending them far away where they can take care of the mom and baby, and that was pretty much like an hour away for
Wow.
us.
Wow.
We were driving almost every day in
Every
our
day
For 2 months.
for
for
2 months.
And y'all are working too?
I was on leave. I was on leave, and I was on leave for a month. And after a month, I had to go back. So after work, I was going home, change clothes, and then drive
Wow.
up there. Yeah.
And I left work early because that was in the height of COVID, and no one knew what the stipulations were with the baby contracting the virus. So I
Mm.
was just putting my best foot forward and being like, this is my first baby and I'm going to take care of myself. So, like, if I have to leave my job, I have to leave my job. I'm not going to risk myself or my baby for a company. That's pretty
Mhm.
much what my mindset was.
That was your position.
Yes.
Wow. So I know that was stressful. So I mean, how did y'all make it through that? You know, how long had y'all been married at that point?
We got married in 2019. She was born 2021. So
Yeah,
3
3
years.
years.
3 years?
years.
Okay. So y'all were pretty strong at that time. It didn't, you know.
To be honest with you, I think the best way we made it to this time, I think, is just God. That's just the simplest way I can say it. I don't think there is, like, until today, when I think about it, and I think about the severity, I think about how hard it was, how challenging it was. I think, there is not another way we could have made it. For me, what helped me was just make sure that I was there for her, because there is no way I can understand or comprehend what was going on with her, since giving carrying the baby and being able to deliver the baby and not being able to bring the baby at home. I understand how stressful it can be for a mother. As for me, since I cannot comprehend all that, the best thing I can do is just be there, be present every single way, just be there for her and showing my support, my love, and everything she needs. I should be. I was there. Make
Mhm.
sure.
Wow. So you were there for her, and that was your priority.
Yes, that was my priority. Yes.
That's awesome. Awesome. So what about you, Shaakira? I mean, how did you experience your husband during that time frame?
He was very selfless. I know he was tired. We no sleep, and every 10, 15 minutes they're coming in checking on me, and I'm constantly having to make sure I'm pumping enough milk, because I'm like, I know that's the key to get her home, and just making sure that he's taking care of himself. So there were times where I was at the hospital and I'm like, stay at home for a
Mm.
couple days,
Mm.
just hours, sleep, go with your friends. Like, I was trying to think of everything that I could do to help him have some peace of mind with everything going on. So,
Mm-hmm.
narrating to him, like, you need to do some self care as well. Even though you can be worried about us,
Yeah.
I need you to take care of you too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Didn't you tell him something when as soon as the baby was born? You asked him what was that you said you asked him?
Yeah, I asked him when I woke up from anesthesia.
Yeah, because I think she was still waking up and everything, and then they took her out of the operating room into the recovery room, and as she was waking up, she looked at me. She asked me two questions. The first one, she was, "How's the baby?" I told her the baby's fine, and then she looked back and she looked at me again and she asked me if I was happy. And that just blew my mind. I was like looking at her, almost died, literally almost died, giving birth to this beautiful child we have today, and she was asking me if I was happy.
Hmm.
So that, I think that's also changed the way I see our marriage now, or that's also changed the way I do love her, but I think that's changed the way I love her. So for me, it was just like, this is, so she didn't think about her at that point. And for me, that was just my mind was blown. I couldn't even believe what I was hearing at that time. And for me, it was just like, okay, you know what? I just need to make sure that I'm doing every single things I can for her, because that was amazing.
So you would say Shaakira is not selfish.
No, she's not. That was. I don't think I can. I mean, I can think about it, yeah, but when I really see that, when you do something, you can, oh, you're selfish. But when I really, really think about it, uh, she's not. She's not a selfish person. Selfish person. That's
Mm-hmm.
just that just I don't know. I really don't. I don't think there is any word to describe that situation. It's like pure love.
Yeah,
You know,
selfless.
selfless love. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess you would say the same thing about Rudy, huh?
Yes.
Shakira, that he's not a selfish person.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you guys. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? I mean, everybody got the issues,
Yeah.
but at the core, the base of your marriage relationship is a sharing, is a caring, is a loving. I'm taking care of you, and both of you seem to have that spirit, and that has been a blessing for your marriage and all the stress that you guys have been through.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, awesome. Well, I'm just really thrilled to meet you guys. Look forward to continue to associate with you. I have to ask one more question though before we go, and that is, how do you guys make sure that you're taking care of your marriage? You have a baby now. You've got businesses. You got a lot going on. How do you guys make sure that you're taking care of your marriage?
Yeah,
In.
we do check like every 3
Are
months.
you happy? Are you good? Is there anything?
How often?
Every 3 months, I'll say. Every 3 months, we kind of check in with one another. Be like,
I say it's more frequent.
Yeah, more frequent now. It's more like,
Yeah.
hey, what's going on in your mind? Like,
Yeah.
is there anything I can do different? Is there anything you want to change? Is there anything you want me to adjust? And vice versa. And I would say, just we are still dating one another. Even though we have a child, she is the priority number one, but we understand that if we are not okay, the child will not be okay, and the house will not be okay, and the marriage will not be okay. We make sure that we still spend time together. It's not something extravagant or big. We can just go to a park, take a walk, get some ice cream, or go to a movie, things like that. Just make sure we still spend time. Or sometimes we just stay late to watch a movie or TV show.
Just
talk.
Just talk.
That's great. That's great. Who usually leads the time? The dates and
she's a better planner, so she kind of plan those dates. Yeah. I'm more like, okay,
spontaneous.
Yeah, but when it comes to planning, she's a better planner because she has a specific agenda, the whole line. So she's a better planner than I am.
Okay, so you don't give the ideas. Say, hey, can we plan to do this? Can you plan to do that? Or is she pretty much the one coming up with the ideas? Okay, it's time for us to go on a date.
No, I mean, when I plan it, I just go, based on how I feel. I'm like, what do you want to eat today?
So you just spontaneous. You're not gonna just.
Yeah.
But it's the little things with him. Like, he loves to cook for me. He loves to get me flowers. So it's like, I don't need to go out. Like, I'm not into all of that.
Yeah.
But I'm very simple and laid back. So
he be loving on you all kind of little ways. Huh? That's what's up. That's awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you guys were able to show up this evening and share your story with the folks. Folks, if you want to get in touch with Shaakira Molisho, go to ShaakiraMolisho.com and check her out and learn all about her. She has a newsletter you can sign up for, and you have something to offer. What is it you have for them when they get the newsletter?
I am creating a content creator camp. It's for busy boss moms who want to go into social media, learn how to monetize their personal brand and generate income and make an impact as well.
That's what's up. That's awesome. Shaakira Molisho, they have a clothing brand, Rudy got a book. What's the title of your book, Rudy?
God's Creation.
God's Creation. And,
The link is on my bio,
okay.
rudyvanmolisho.com, and then get the ebook right there.
Okay, man. Then go to Amazon too and get it
No, they can buy it on my website.
straight for your website. Now, what is your website?
rudyvanmolisho.com. So my first name RUDYVAN and my last name Molisho MOLISHO.com.
Okay, all right. You got to have a link from your site to his site, Shaakira, so that they can go and get stuff from your husband. Y'all just some busy entrepreneurs, man. Y'all making it happen. Got all kind of stuff going on. Another project y'all working on too. What was that other project y'all having isn't there another project you're working on too?
We got quite a few.
Yeah.
So we also mentor young kids here in Cincinnati through an organization called The Plug, where we help single mother or young kid with different type of course training and ways to just express themselves. And also we also do other activity back home in the Congo with different orphanage where we provide annual dinner and back to school program, different things in that way.
That's awesome. You guys are busy making an impact. You guys got a lot of love to give.
Yes, we are trying.
That's awesome. Well, folks, that's Rudy and Shaakira Molisho from Cincinnati, Ohio, doing their thing. They're making an impact in this world, building their businesses and helping young people and developing clothing lines and has all kind of stuff going on. And while they are taking care of each other and loving on each other and actually using their home as a incubator, place where love can just be fostered and grown so they can go out and give more to the world. So proud of them and want to encourage them as they continue to serve and give. May God bless you guys in your adventures to come. All right.
Thank you.
All right, a wonderful guest we had today, and I hope you learned something and gained some inspiration from them, how they have learned how to adjust to their cultural differences and how they've managed stress together, how they have served each other, how they've been intentional about checking in with each other, making sure that they are spending time together. And we didn't get into the parenting piece of it, but I'm sure they got some tips on that too, keeping the children, keeping their baby, making sure the baby don't get in between them and whatnot. So we're just so grateful for them. And again, if you want to check us out, the Sizzling Hot Marriage Show, you can become my VIC, very important couple, and you can get my newsletter, and I have a whole series of videos for you to watch, and you'll be notified whenever we have shows coming up. So make sure you go to sizzlinghotmarriageshow.com and register for the shows, and you can also register for my upcoming retreat, which is my virtual marriage retreat I'm doing with power couples, for helping couples to find their purpose, so they can create their dream marriage, their dream business / vision. So if you're interested in growing your business and growing your marriage at the same time, as you know, business can get in the way of your marriage. You can be so busy that you don't have time for your marriage. So we're going to teach couples how to manage their life along with their business so they can be successful in both. So I'm trying to find my slide here. I think I have it here. There it is. It's a free virtual marriage retreat for power couples. So make sure you sign up at retreat.sizzlinghotmarriage.com. Retreat.sizzlinghotmarriage.com. Coming up this weekend, it's Friday night. So hurry up. Time is short. All right, folks. Thank you again for coming and being our guest for another edition of the Sizzling Hot Marriage Show. Make sure you tune in next week, next Monday night at 7 o'clock Central Time. For our next edition of it, we'll have Sonia Bell. I call her the tantrum healer, tantrum silencer, something I can't remember. Anyway, she talks about raising her special needs child and using a special diet to help her child. So I'm looking forward to that interview next week. So make sure you tune in next week for the Sizzling Hot Marriage Show. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for the day. And again, thank you again for showing up and being a part of the show today. And we look forward to seeing you next week. God bless you, and have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Thank you.
Yeah.